Good morning, healthpreneurs. How's it going? Yuri here, and I'm with our awesome result coaches. We've got Amy, Jackie, and Steph in the house. What is up, guys?
Not much. Excited to be here.
Yes, I know. All right, so we got screens are working out hopefully okay. If you're watching this on the Facebook group, welcome. If you're listening to this on the podcast, then good for you. And today we're talking about pricing. Okay, how to get, and specifically how to get over your fear of raising your prices. This is undoubtedly the number one challenge, aside from the other challenges we talked about over the previous weeks. This is one of the biggest roadblocks that we continue to see. So I want to really walk through this in this call, give you guys some insights, some context, so different ways of looking at this. And the reason this is important, I just want to give you guys a bit of foundation here. The reason it's important to have higher prices, guys, is you have two choices. You really have two choices, and I want to give you a bit of perspective. Choice number one is, you've got three choices. Choice number one is you can sell products, right? You can sell supplements, you can sell books, you can sell information, and invariably doing so, those prices have a cap. Like, you're not going to be selling supplements for $1,000. You're not going to be selling a book for $1,000. You might sell a course, which is the second option, right? A do-it-yourself type of course, which might be $1,000 or a couple $100. That's where a lot of people come to us in that zone. I'm charging $199 for a 6-week program or 4 weeks of coaching, or I have a course that's $249. And from that price point to what we're talking about, which is several $1,000s, like so $3,000 to $5,000, to work with people more closely, not necessarily one-on-one, but in a group leveraged coaching program, is a big jump for a lot of people. I'm going to give you some context about those two different options in a couple minutes, but I want to bring you guys into this conversation here because, Steph, because you're obviously on the screen here and I can see you, we talked a lot about this, even just the two of us. What do you see as the biggest reason people don't charge more than they do?
Oh my goodness, that's kind of a hard question to answer, but I will do my best. So I think, because there's a couple different things. So I think the first thing is that your perception is really your reality. So if you are perceiving that the people who are going to be coming to you already can't afford it, then that puts you in the mindset of, oh my gosh, everybody I'm talking to can't afford it. They're not going to be able to afford it. They're not going to be able to afford it. And guess what? That attracts people that can't afford it. So that's one of the things. And then the second thing is that we have to get really clear on what it is that we're delivering and the benefit that it can really give to people. I mean, the people that are in this course, I am blessed to be able to talk to many of you guys, and it's just absolutely incredible what you guys are offering and what it can do for people's lives. It's literally priceless. And the thing is that when people are paying that higher price point, they will take it so much more seriously. I've learned this in my own, personal business, that I do on my own. And when I have charged less, the people have less, time, effort, energy to give to the program. They don't get the results. They don't show up. And then when they pay the higher price point, they do, and they get so much benefit out of it. So there's just so many things here about this. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say too, because I know you guys are seeing these people too. And this is a huge, huge issue that we're seeing with people, is that they have this perception that it's just too much when really that's not the case at all. And really, I think sometimes it's just because they started at a lower price point, lower than they should have. So then the jump seems really high, but really it's actually what they should have been charging all along. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah. Jackie, Amy, you guys do a lot of our enrollment calls. What do you guys see when you're talking to prospective clients with respect to pricing? And even with some of the check-in calls?
I find the enrollment calls, go ahead, Jackie, I'll jump in after you.
Oh, okay. I was like, either way. With the enrollment calls, we're breaking through a lot of belief systems. So going back to your perceptions, your reality. Sometimes our belief, just like fear, it's a lie. The word lie is even in the word belief if you look at it. So when you're looking at beliefs and you're looking at maybe what you are instilling within yourself is not true. If you've already helped somebody get through a certain transformation or get a specific result, you can help one person, you can help thousands of people, and they're waiting for you. So that's what we're usually getting into on the result calls. And again, these calls are free. So I don't know why people don't jump on them, is breaking through some of those beliefs and those lies. And if you believe that you're only worth so much, guess what? You're only going to bring that version of yourself to the table. If you believe you're worth $3,000, $5,000, and I had this breakthrough in 2011 with my own coaching clients. I was charging $500 a month for a white glove treatment for weight loss, from food to exercise. You name it, I was doing it, and I was burning myself out, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it so bad, I shut my door and said, I'm not coaching anymore, and I went into luxury real estate for a short year of my life, and I said, what? This is not where my gifts and talents are. Though it'll serve me later down the road to buy my own luxury real estate, right? When I'm living my freedom life. What you believe, you're right, and what you believe, going forward is going to carry through what you're delivering and how you're kind of presenting yourself to the market.
Yeah, so you're like a radio frequency that you're emitting out there, right? So it's like you're on dial 99.9, and all of a sudden people are not, like, you're attracting 104.5 or something. It's totally off. It's a boomerang. Like, what you put out, you get right back at you. And this is why coaching, this is why increasing your prices, this is why this whole process, guys, I'm telling you, is one of the best growth paths you will ever go on. You will learn so much about your own shit. You're going to go through your own challenges, mindset issues. It's all mindset. It's all stuff in our head, right?
Yes.
So
it'll talk yourself into and out of, like, and to go into that. So, like, I went off track, went out of my passion, went out of my purpose in life just to get comfortable, work with a team again, like I said, in luxury real estate, which there was a lot of good growth there as well. But when I came back, one of the same clients I was, working with for over a year at $500 a month came back in for triple the price, right? So, and I was like, I had the fear at first. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's not going to want to join. I'm like, but who cares if he doesn't? Then he's not my ideal client. He's not my perfect client, right? So I just jumped in, went for it, and I was like, okay, and he did, and so did others, and then that's where I was like, okay, this is where I need to be. And having a coach to help me get through that breakthrough was tremendous, and that's what really, really got my mindset right and helped me have that shift. Because I was surrounding myself from people who were charging $500, and when I finally started surrounding my people that were, your influence is going to give off that vibration, is going to teach you how and give you that confidence to make that shift.
Yeah, that's huge. Amy, what do you think?
What I find on the enrollment calls, and it's really interesting to be on the enrollment calls, which our coaching starts there. So, those of you that are in the program that have gotten on those enrollment calls, that, like, we look at where you're stuck and we address that. What I find on the enrollment calls is that people get it. They understand that they've been doing the long game. I did it too, right? I had a brick and mortar. I charged $97 for fitness only, $197 for everything else. Like, oh my gosh. And I was burning myself out, and people weren't committed, and then they were pissed off, and then I was stressed out. And I had two of the very same people who, just like you, Jackie, who $97 was too much, pay me $2,500. One woman in my bikini at the pond after paddleboarding, and when I said, well, can I ask you a question? You said to me that this, $197, it was too much. What's the deal? And you know what she told me? I didn't think I was going to get anything for that. I didn't know what I could possibly really get. So when we're on these enrollment calls with you folks and we're coaching you through, I find people get it and they're excited, and that's why they enroll. Then they've enrolled and they come in, and now they're building the system, and now all that fear comes back, right? That confidence, the excitement on the call, that emotion goes away. So how do you get that back? It's just what you've all said. We have to change our mindset. So when you start to think, oh my God, who's going to pay for this program? You can simply make a shift in your mind and say, there are lots of people out there waiting for what I have. I don't know exactly who's going to pay for this, but people will. And when you shift that day after day, moment after moment, all of a sudden you're thinking, I don't know who these people are, but they're coming. So that's what I see. The enrollment call people are excited. They like the idea of, oh my gosh, I don't have to have 10,000 people in my pipeline that aren't ever going to do anything. That's what I found with my belly bloat solution. That's $19. Do you know how many people actually download it? Not many. So really, the higher the pricing, your clients show up, right? Just like to their fullest, because they've got skin in the game. And the interesting thing is if $2,500 is like 97 to someone, those people still don't show up because maybe they needed it to be 5,000 or 10,000, right? But when you charge more, they show up. And when you charge more, guess who else shows up? You. Because you want to make sure that you're delivering. So go all the way back to Yuri's amazing question of if you only got paid for delivering an amazing result, who would you work with? And if you're working with who you're supposed to be, like Jackie was in, luxury real estate, that wasn't really her thing, even though she learned from it. When you turn on to where you're supposed to be, then you're on. And then you're commanding. And then all of a sudden, like right now, I'm like, oh my God, I need to charge more. This is too little. This is not $2,500 is like nothing, for for the life change they're getting. So really, I find a difference from the enrollment call to the actual being in the program. So if you guys can go back to why you got excited about charging premium prices and who you're excited about serving, and then when you have that thought, because they will come, who's going to buy this? If you can pivot that to, I don't know, but I know they're out there, and then little by little you'll start to believe, and then you can move away from those, those old stories that you're telling yourself.
Totally. And I'll say this, guys, the investment in this workshop is still not enough for some people to get off their butt and do the work. And I'm not going to name names, but there are people in this program that have been in the program for months that are still using whatever stories and excuses to not move forward. And I'll be very honest with you guys. That's why one of the reasons we're increasing the price of the workshop. But the price of the workshop is only going to go up over time. It's never going to go down. And the reason for that is because the same thing's going to happen for your program. Is you're going to run through it with one cohort of people. You're going to see, wow, this is really effective. This is actually really good. This could be better. This could be better. And you're going to do this over and over again. And eventually you're going to get to the point where you're like, you know what? I really deserve to be charging more for this because I see my clients, the results that they're getting. I see how I'm showing up. And I think I could show up in an even better way if I maybe tweak this a little bit. And, like you mentioned, Amy, it does come down to what has to be true to, if I were only getting paid after I got a client results, right? Who are the best clients to work with? And that's a really important question for you guys to meditate on, guys, because I'm not even meditate on, just to think through, because guaranteed you will find this. Even at the same price point, even if you charge higher prices, it's not just pricing that's going to guarantee you have the best people, because you'll have people that can spend money, but maybe who aren't necessarily going to show up and do the work. So you obviously have to kind of consider that in terms of your criteria. But pricing is an important filter. I talk a lot about this in the webinar. I'm not going to bore you with the importance of high pricing or premium pricing, but I do want to give you some context. So I'm going to share two examples with you. One is from a conversation I had about 3 weeks ago with one of our HP Live attendees, and she was asking me about, so we had a 10-minute consultation, and she was like, okay, I've got this program. I want to know how I can get affiliates to promote it. And I said, all right, let's have a look at this. So she sent me the webpage. I had a look at it, and the price was $149, and it was a 6-week kind of, I'm not even sure what it was. Like it was some kind of energetic Reiki type of thingamajig, feng shui, I'm not sure. But the problem is that, number one, the headline was very unclear, and it was about their program, not about the problem or the outcome. And that was the biggest thing. I said, listen, I don't even know what this is about. So anyways, I just said, okay, how is this currently working for you? How is it converting? And she's like, not very well. So I was like, all right, step number one, if you want affiliates to promote this, let's just have a little reality check. You have to be an amazing marketer / amazing copywriter to craft an offer that is so compelling that people who don't even know you are going to hit the buy now button. And this, whether it's $10, $20, $149, it's all the same. So step number one is her conversions were like 0.001%. So that's not going to happen for affiliate traffic. So I said, let's say, even if that were the case, even if the offer was converting well, why are you offering this at $149? Like, what is the outcome? What's the goal? And she's like, well, I want to replace my one-on-one coaching with income from the sale of this program. So I said, all right, let's take out a calculator and let's do some math. $149 and she wanted to do, let's call it about $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month divided by a $149 program is about 65 units. So I said, okay, 65 units for sales, and let's just assume you get your conversion up to an amazing 1%, which is very hard to do on cold traffic. Okay, so 1%. To get 65 people to buy at 1%, how many people need to visit your webpage on a monthly basis? Is that like what, 65,000 if my math is right? 65,000 people to come to our webpage. Okay, 65,000 people. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people, but I don't have affiliates that are lined up to be like, hey Yuri, what do you have to promote? What do you have to promote? You know, what's working well for you? And I know that she doesn't either. So I said the alternative is that you're running Facebook ads or ads in general to this page to the tune of 65,000 visitors per month. Let's say that you're lucky and you get 50 cents per click. And we're just going to assume that some degree of those people are qualified. You're now spending $32,000 to get 65,000 visitors. 1% of those people are going to buy, and you're still in the hole $22,000. And she's like, holy shit, I never thought of that. So I'm like, okay, so you could do that, right? And you could go to events and you could try to network and get people to promote your stuff, and they're not going to because it's not going to make the money because it's not converting. And then you can spend the next 10 years mastering how to become a great copywriter, which you're probably not going to want to do. And I just said, or you could do this. You could take the existing program and add a 0 to the end of it and turn it into a coaching program. So it's not a do-it-yourself course. It's a program that is now a coaching program. And I just said, add a 0, but really it should be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Get far fewer people engaged, right? You don't need, if you're working with people at $5,000, that's 2 clients a month. And I don't know about you, like Amy, and we can talk about this too. Like, I don't know about you, but selling a $19 product is way harder than a $5,000 coaching program. And I'm serious, guys.
Totally.
I'm dead
totally
serious about this.
I had the same exact experience. I had a $300 6-week course, and then I had a $3,000 6-week course. And let me tell you, even though I work in this world, I was still shocked at how much more difficult it was to sell the $300 program. It was absolutely insane.
How much more work?
Oh, it was a lot.
I want to be very, very transparent with you guys. So I'm going to actually share my screen with you for a second. I'm going to give you some real numbers about what this looks like, because I think it's important to know this for all of you watching or listening to this. Because here's the thing, guys. Coming back to pricing, it's not about how much should I charge. It's if I don't do this, my other options are not to be in business. Like that's really, it's like you can spend the next 10 years doing what I did since 2006 and kill yourself in the process, or you go out of business and you work for someone else, or you make lattes at Starbucks. Okay, those are the other options. Or you get through your own mental shit and you increase your prices and you work with people closely. Okay, because I'm about to show you why the other option is not fun at all. So if I can figure out how to share my screen here. Okay, so this is data from one of our funnels from June 11th to August 21st. And I want to give you some context on this. This funnel is Facebook ads to a lead magnet, okay, so a free lead magnet, to a $5 offer, okay, a $5 offer. And the promise is lose up to 5 pounds in 5 days. It's a great program, but it's $5. Now, I want you to see this. The conversion rates are less than, in 1 week we had a almost 5% conversion, which was an anomaly. But look at this. The conversion rates 1.13%, 1%, 1.62, 1.43, under 1, 1.5 on a $5 product. Now, what's even scarier is look at how much money we're spending on this. Okay, so that's combined $15,000. How many opt-ins we've generated? 37,933 opt-ins. Oh my God, you must have a huge list. Who gives a shit? I'm sorry to be very curse about this, but it's like, this stuff really drives me crazy, guys. 37,933 people. How many of these people have purchased? Not very many. How many people are going to purchase in the next 90 days? Probably not very many, right? The reality is half of these people don't even open the day zero email to open the thing they requested for free.
Right.
Now, here's the scary part is, here is our ROI, okay? You can see the net profit, it's all red, which means we're actually losing money every single day we run this funnel. Now, the only reason we're continuing to run this is because we have a lot of things on the back end we can offer those leads, and we're tweaking the funnel to make it a bit better. But I'm telling you guys, like, this is serious stuff. If you do this kind of nonsense, your business will go bankrupt in no time flat. And I see this all the time where someone comes to the market with one product, and if it doesn't work, they've got nothing else in the back end. And like, you have no runway. And most importantly is these people are not committed to the outcome they say they want. Maybe some of them are, right? So it's like, why worry about building your list to 37,000? I mean, this is one funnel. Like, our list in general is like 250,000 people. I don't even know. But that side of our business, the health and fitness stuff that we're doing, man, I'm so happy that I'm not personally involved in much of that anymore, and working with you guys at this capacity where I actually have an interaction and a conversation with you guys to really help you take the business to the next level. It is so much more fulfilling, but there is no way that I could do this, that Amy would be here, that Stephanie would be here, that Jackie would be here if we were pricing this program at $1,000 or $500. And it's the same thing for your coaching program. It's not going to be worth your time. And eventually, if you want to scale and bring other coaches on, if you ever want to, you can't, because you don't have the margin. But if you start moving to 2, 3, 5,000 and above, you can create miracles for your clients. And that's what this is about. It's not about making more money, which is great. I have nothing wrong with that. You should make a lot of money, but it's about doing what you have to do to create the results for your clients. That's what this is about. Done. 100%.
Yeah, it's all about that equal energy exchange too. It's like, if you're putting out this much energy and people are only putting in this, meaning skin in the game with money in this case, it doesn't match. So people there has to be an equal energy exchange, or else the program just is going to fail your clients and fail you as well. You're just not going to feel fulfilled or happy with it. And a lot of it has to do with just lack of self-worth. A lot of people just are not understanding their own worth and value of their knowledge, skills, and abilities and what they're providing people. I mean, Yuri, you have some like crazy examples of like these incredible courses, like 10-week-long courses, and they were charging like what, $97 or something like that for, epic results that they were promising. And so it's just, we have to also invite our people to up-level themselves as well, because sometimes if people think, I can't afford this, well, it's like, okay, well then now's not the time for you. When you can, then this is when you're going to have the most results with this, right? We're not going to meet them down at their level where they're like living in lack and limitation. We're going to say, no. This is a VIP service. Come up here. Meet me up here. Meet me up where I'm at. Well, it's nice up here.
Guys, just as there's always, no matter what the price point, there will always be, the majority of people are not going to be willing to pay, even if it's $5. Yeah. Even if it's $5, okay? So if it's a $5,000 program or $5, there's always going to be a percentage who don't want to pay, and there will always be a percentage of people who are willing to invest. And I think it's like at this higher level, the reason that, we find it a lot easier is because when you're able to have a conversation with someone, there's something that happens there. There's a relationship that's built. There's a bond that's created. And that means a lot. There's trust. And I think it doesn't make sense to have conversations in terms of your time when you are selling anything for a couple $100. It doesn't. It just does not. And I'm telling you guys, and I can't remember the saying, but it was something along the lines of, if you think you can't do it, you have to do it. It's something along those lines. Like if you think you can't charge more, you have to charge more. Because what that's going to force you to do is it's going to force you to get very uncomfortable. We talked about this the last couple of weeks, is getting uncomfortable and being comfortable in friggin' cold water. Like I was just camping with the kids the last couple of days, and we're at Lake Huron. It was cold. And I challenged myself. I'm like, Yuri, instead of tiptoeing into the water, just like dive in. Like get uncomfortable and embrace that. And it's like, I'm telling you guys, you do these little things to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, it starts to build that muscle. And you will be surprised. Like it doesn't matter if it was $149 or $5,000. Certain people are going to say yes. Some people say no, whatever. You just move on. But it is easier. Like Amy and Jackie, you guys are on the phone and you guys are enrolling almost 1 out of 2 people we speak to right now. Qualified prospects. And there's no high pressure. There's none of that stuff going on. And maybe you can speak from this experience, Amy, like compared to selling an info product, selling a higher end premium price coaching program.
It's so amazing because what happens is there's a number of things that happen. When I was selling, I knew I wanted the freedom. I knew I want to help people. I knew, like, I have always been that person. I'm always wanting, since growing up, I always wanted to be that person to help people. And I didn't understand my worth. I've always put, from my experiences, I was last. My emotions, my everything, right? So here I am trying to make a difference, but wanting to have freedom, wanting to spend time with my family, knowing life is short. My dad died at 54. I was 26. But knowing all this, right? So now I'm going online. I want to reach more people because I live in Vermont. There's like no one here, 800 people, and there's in my town, and I want to reach out. So I'm reaching out. But now what happened was I had to become like pretty much solely a marketer. So now I'm becoming a marketer and I'm not working with people, and I found myself accepting that because I wanted the freedom, but where was the energy, right? Because I didn't want to now I love the marketing, but it's because that's not my only job. I get to still storytell and connect. And the difference is when I get on the phone with people, and this is going to be true for all of you, it's the perfect opportunity because they're nervous. They've tried everything. They've been burned before. They've spent money. You get to say, well, how did that work for you? What was your commitment level? And you are able to say, that's exactly what makes this different. We're with you every step of the way. We're not going to do it for you. You have to do it. But we're here, and you've got the guardrails with us. And that has made all the difference. Right now I'm working with people instead of just like, how can I write another ad? Or who's more experienced in the field? I have all these connections and everyone's willing to help me. Like I'm a nice person, but like you said, Yuri, the conversions are low. So these people are being super helpful and informative and helping me to learn, but they're not sending to their list because they don't want to send something to their list. They're not sure how it converts because they have a relationship with their people, right? So if my thing isn't going to go, they don't want to, do that to their list. So you get to show how your program is different. When we're on the phone in enrollment calls, I have so many people that come either from the info space or I'm in a brick and mortar, I want to go online. And people come and we are able to say on the phone with them, this is what's different. You have copy coaches. You have Yuri himself doing Q&As. You have an implementation call. You have Facebook Fridays. And this is exactly, you've got Stephanie and Jackie and myself for one-on-ones. This is what's different than another coaching program you've done in this space. You have all the support you need along with the blueprint. So, it's really, really an amazing place to be versus the $19, I think my whole cart value was like $150 with all the upsells, right?
So that everyone took those upsells, which is in and of itself very rare.
If they took right. So this is just, you get to do what you love and you get to live you get to get your magic out there. And you get to up level, and then you get to help other people up level. And I'm just going to say this, go on a little spiritual tangent just for a half a second, or a little more than that, because, when we talk about the spirituality, and I struggled with this, with the money thing. I worked for free for most of my life because I didn't value myself or understand what the deal was. And money was bad growing up, right? Never ask anyone what they do. Never tell anyone how much money. Don't ask how much money you make. You know what? Money is awesome. And if you listen to, I know, if you listen to Abraham Hicks at all and you talk about the spirituality, and even if you don't, I'm going to throw this out there, and if this doesn't jive with you, please just push it aside. But maybe this will shift your mind. We have chosen to be in this physical space. So we're all here on this earth in our human bodies because we chose that, right? So I know this could get a little hokey now. So part of this experience in our culture is money exchange for value. And your value is way up here. And if you're not charging, you're going to feel like crap. The people around you are going to feel like crap. When you raise your vibration and you charge what you're worth, you bring everyone with you. So remember, you chose to be here, you chose this experience, and you've got to live. We live in a capitalistic society. That's the deal.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with money. I mean, money is amazing.
It's
there's no. I mean, thanks for, we can thank religion for this, but there's no nobility in being poor. It doesn't serve anyone. There's the only people who I believe impact this world are people who are impacting this world, and as a result of their impact, are making more money, right? So the more money you want to make, it's not like you're going to go rob a bank. It's, okay, if I want to make more money over here, how do I make more money? Okay, money is only an exchange of value, so the more value I give to others, either in number or depth, that's how I make more money. And what we're talking about here, guys, is not selling 10,000 ebooks a day, because you could do that, but I believe we know all the people in this program are here because they enjoy coaching, not becoming internet marketers, right? So that's a different conversation. So you're here because you enjoy coaching people. Not necessarily one-on-one, not trading time for money. So we're not talking about 10,000 clients a day. We're talking about maybe it's 100 clients a year and going deep with them. And then of those 100 clients, maybe 10 or 15 or 20 of them want to go deeper with you even still. Maybe you can start doing retreats. Maybe you can have a masterminds, right? There's all sorts of things you can do on the back end of this where we're so fixated, and I'm guilty of this too, is like, it's always like more, the next lead, the next customer, the next client. But I like to ask myself, what would have to be true in our business for it to grow profitably if we never acquired another lead or clients? And it's a really interesting question because right now, for the past 4 weeks, we've had 0 ads running on Facebook because we're moving to a new ad agency who are taking way too much time to get things rolling. And it's interesting to see what happens with your business when you've got no lead flow coming in from paid traffic. Now, we've got a couple of people coming in internally and from Instagram and stuff, but for the vast majority of it, it's like the valve has been shut off. And when you start to think about, okay, how do I, if this were the situation for the next year, like what would have to be true? Like what would we have to do inside the business to, make it even better for our clients? We could charge more, earn more, help them more. And so these are things that I'm always thinking about and hopefully, bring it to the forefront for you guys to think through, because you can't run a profitable business selling low-end stuff. It's becoming more and more challenging, and you have 2 options. You go low price, extremely high volume, and that type of business is not a lot of fun, okay? Or you go high price, lower volume, higher touch. And that is, I'm telling you guys, so much more fulfilling. And like a lot of you guys know this already. We've had some great testimonials and some great wins from many of you guys. And I understand it's tough. I understand some people are going to say no. You're going to get on a couple calls. People are going to say no. It's not because it's too high of a price. Maybe it's the way you're approaching your calls. Maybe it's, the messaging. There's different things there. But there will always be people flying first class. Always. There's always going to be people staying at the Four Seasons hotels. There's always going to be people spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to fly to space. That will never change for the rest of eternity. And what we're suggesting here, guys, is that the transformation you can create in someone's life, helping them, even if it's helping them lose 20 pounds, how do you put a price on 20 pounds? And if you did, would it not be more valuable than a couple $100? I think so.
Absolutely. And when you enter your calls in service, when you Because I think what happens, and I know this happened for me, when you first start doing calls and you're like, I need to make the money, especially if you're like closing one business and starting another and you're hell bent on you're not, you're doing this, right? You start to, when you have that, you go into the call with, I need this sale, or I need to make this money, or I need this to work. Even if you really do, you've got to shift your mind to, I'm going to help this person, and I don't know if they're going to enroll or not today. My goal is to help them to shift, and if they're a fit, it's our job to enroll them, because it's really our duty and our responsibility to enroll people who need our help, who want our help, and we can help them with the money objection. We can help them with the fear, but we've got to get in and start with our intention. And I know everything shifted for me. I created a ritual surrounding, how do I get on this call with intention? What do I want this other person to get out of this? And just come there, even if you don't know, even if you read the application and they said they have no money, they may just be blocking, like they don't want to tell you that they have money. So don't make any judgments, read the application, and then get on the call and have the conversation and stick to your script so you get off the call. But when you go in service from that point, even if they don't enroll with you then, I know Yuri, you've said to me, so-and-so reached out to me and they really liked the experience, even though they didn't enroll today. I just wanted you to know that they did email me or Instagram or whatever, chat message me that they had a good experience. And I'm sure that, Jackie, you and Phyllis are having the same experiences. So just go into it with a different intention and less stress and fear, and you'll see that the other side will come through when it needs to, like when that person is ready.
Totally. Jackie, you wanted to jump in there?
Yeah, I was going to say, same service-oriented mindset. I think when you're in the health industry, you're the biggest giver. Like you really want to transform people's lives. And sometimes we get stuck in giving away our services at a lower rate. So the most generous people in life, look at all of the billionaires, the millionaires, they have so much more to give. The most generous people have so much more to give. So that's what shifted for me. I'm like, well, in order to have more to give, I need to serve people at another level, and I need to charge what I'm worth. And a lot of it, again, it's what's between our ears. Our brain can talk us into and out of what we know we should be doing or shouldn't be doing, and that fear, the lies can creep in. But when we know our worth, when we know our perfect client, when we know our dream come true system, and we're ready to go out there and just be it and do it and quit talking about it, that's where the magic happens. So, if you want to be more generous, you have to up your prices, right? If you want to go after and helping more people and making greater impact, you have to go deeper, and that's the only way to do it.
I love that analogy. It just made me think. So when we were camping, we got this. It's kind of like a sack, like a fillable water sack, held up to like a gallon, I think. So, like what you're talking about, Jackie, if you want to give more, you have to fill up more water into the jug, right? Mm-hmm. So the more water you have, the more water you have to give. Mm-hmm. So doesn't it just make sense to have more? Because it's not about like hoarding money, because it's all a flow. Like whether you're buying clothing or investing in something, or it's coming in, coming out all the time. But you can just do more. Like you can just do more good. You can build your business, which will employ people, which will impact more people, which will, pay it forward. So I think it's just awesome. Perspective, guys. What is the worst that can happen if you raise your prices? What's the worst thing that can happen if you raise your prices? So let's say you're thinking of like, it's like $1,000 is like your upper limit. What's the worst thing that can happen if you went to $3,000? What's the worst thing that can happen? Everyone says no? All right. So maybe you can improve the way you speak to people, maybe refine your messaging. God forbid, for some reason, maybe that segment of the market has no way they're going to spend $3,000. You just bring it down to $2,000, right? If you had to. But the best case scenario is that you start enrolling clients who are willing to pay you $3,000, and now you're working with people you enjoy working with who are giving you money that you feel that you deserve, and you're not spending all your time in the back of your mind. You're like, shit, I really should have charged more for this. So worst case scenario is people say no, which we know fear of rejection is one of the biggest paralyzing fears of humans. You got to get through that, and you just got to charge what you're worth. One more thing I'm going to say about this is we have a lot of you guys in the group who are chiropractors, naturopathic doctors. How much money have you spent on school? How much money have you spent on school? Like, I've had calls with people that they're $300,000 in debt from naturopathic college. And they're coming out of naturopathic college. It would be like this. So my buddy Vince just had a baby, so this is just kind of top of mind. It would be like bringing a baby into this world. 9 months of schooling in gestation. And then the baby comes out, and then you just leave it there to fend for itself. That's what it's like going through these professional schools. 4 years in naturopathic college. Here's this great education. Good luck. Have a nice life. How do I build a business? I don't know. That's not our profession. That's not our deal. You got to figure that out there. Guys, like when you compare how much money you spent on your knowledge or your education, how much of that was spent on business development, on marketing, like 0, maybe 1%. I don't know. And for you guys, I mean, obviously this makes sense, but for the people that you're looking to serve, maybe they haven't spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you're thinking, okay, well, how do I make that comparison for them? The thing, all it comes down to, guys, is you have to get people associated to their bigger outcome, and they have to be sick and tired of where they are. And it's your job on the phone to get them to the point where they have to need what it is you're offering. If it's like a nice to have, it's not going to happen. It has to be a must to have, and in order for it to be a must to have, the way you bring people through your funnel has to be compelling. Your webinar has to really get people to, first and foremost, fill out an application. If they've done that, there's a reason they've done so, right? So Nick, you've mentioned you've got a couple people on the phone, if you're watching the replay, who are not the right fit for your coaching. Well, I would beg to differ, because if you've had, let's say, a dozen conversations with people, some of those people are probably a good fit based on your targeting and messaging through your ads, your webinar, your application. And you just have to get to the point on the phone where you're very assertive with people to be like, listen, you've told me you want to lose 20 pounds. The worst case scenario of this, if this keeps going on, is you're going to die. You're going to lose. You're not going to be there for your kids, whatever it is. You have to bring those emotions to the table and have a very raw conversation. Because if it's just like surface, guys, if it's just surface, you might as well sell books. Okay? Mm-hmm. You have to go deep with people. Jackie, go ahead.
Really quickly, when you bring up the whole $3,000, like, okay, if you're going from 1,000 to 3,000, worst case scenario, you drop it to 2,000. My beliefs are so ingrained. It's non-negotiable. I'm staying at 3,000, and I'm going to keep getting uncomfortable until I get my clients even more uncomfortable, so they know it's hell or high water. This is the only way. Yep. So you just got to keep practicing, and eventually it'll be ingrained. So you becoming more comfortable with being uncomfortable and getting other people uncomfortable and being okay with that. Being okay to have those challenging, raw, authentic conversations is what's going to allow that to have them have their breakthrough and allow you to command those prices authentically and easily. It happens very easily. I enrolled 2 people this week with 0 phone calls. Yeah. Because there were people that I spoke to before who were finally like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of seeing everybody else doing it. Exactly. You're right, Jackie. That last thing you said to me on the phone a month ago, you're right. Let's do this, right? Guys,
I want you to write this down. People can beat you on price, but they will never beat you on results. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you live that, and if someone's on the phone with you and says, well, it's too expensive for me, yeah, it is. And there are people that are definitely less expensive, and you can go to buy a Men's Health magazine and follow a cutout. But I can guarantee you, if you invest in me and this program, no one is going to come close to the results that you'll get with this program. So do you want to pay less, or do you actually want the results you're telling me you want? That's all it comes down to. Everything else is BS. So if you want to show up and you want the results, this is the only, not one of several options, the only option for you. Mm-hmm. And the way, like, the kind of the passion and assertiveness that I'm bringing to this conversation here, guys, this is how you have to show up on your calls.
Absolutely.
There comes a point in the call where you have, again, Amy talked about this, it's the first coaching call. It's not a sales pitch. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is you're listening for 80% of the call. You're asking questions, they're answering. They're telling you their story, they're telling you their whys, they're telling you their dreams, their pain points. You're taking this all in. And what you're trying to do is you're identifying, is this someone who is a good fit for me to work with? And second, can I help them? Once you've mutually decided that yes, and yes, it's a good fit, now you need to step up. And again, remember, at this point, they've told you that they need your help in some way, shape, or form. So if that's the case, you need to step up and you cannot let them go. Because if you do, they're going to continue suffering. And this goes back to being uncomfortable, like Jackie said. It's uncomfortable to ask. It's uncomfortable to put yourself out there and be slightly more assertive. It's uncomfortable that someone might not like you. God forbid, right? But that's not the game we're playing, guys. We're not playing the games of collecting friends. We're in the game of collecting clients whose lives you can transform. And it's an audition. It's not a sales pitch. It's an audition where you are figuring out, is this someone I can help and I want to work with? And if they have mutually decided that too, you have to step up and you have to be firm.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is that, and this might even be a whole nother podcast or Facebook Live that we can do, is about how sales really is not slimy. Totally. A lot of people have this whole just ugly perception of sales when really it's just an exchange. That's all it is. Nobody gets bent out of shape when you say, oh, I went to this amazing restaurant. You've got to try it. That's sales. You're recommending something that you really believe in to people. And that's really how you have to look at this. And then Jackie and Yuri just had like the best posture. And that's the exact posture you have to have on your calls, because you really have to just step into your own greatness. And sometimes that might even be that you have to create a persona that is like a call persona where it's like, okay, I'm a badass. I'm going to do this. This is amazing. I'm amazing. My program's amazing. And just psych yourself out the whole time right before you hop on the call so that your energy is high. You're vibrating really high. If you come on the call and you're like, oh, they're not going to like this. They're not going to, the price is too high. Oh my gosh. And then by the time you get to where the price point is, you're already freaking out. They feel that energy. And it feels very different than the way that, Jackie, Amy, and Yuri were all just speaking about how passionate they were, right? And if you can be equally as passionate, people match your energy. Yeah. So you're super excited and know this is amazing, and you know that you can transform their lives, and you touch on all their pain points, and you can actually help them, right? We're not touching on pain points to make people feel bad. No, it's so that we can show them we have a solution. Right. We can help you with these things. And then they're like, oh, yay. Oh, amazing. Where do I sign up? How can I be a part of this, right? But it's all about your posture.
Well,
and it becomes very simple.
Yes. Watch a great TEDx talk by Amy Cuddy. This is the power posture right here.
Yes.
Right here. Hands on your hips, standing tall. There's scientific proof behind this. Animals, baboons, gorillas, they make themselves big when they want to be in a position of power. And that's what we're kind of talking about here is if you're approaching your calls slumped over in a chair and you're just like, hey, Tony Robbins talks about this, emotion comes from motion, right? If you want to change your state, change the way you move your body. If you want to feel more confident, don't slouch. Right? If you want to feel confident and you don't feel confident, ask yourself, what would a confident person look like? What would they dress like? What would they stand like? What kind of a facial expression would they have? And you just have to wear that. So if you're talking about physical posture, those are some pointers.
Yes.
That's amazing. And, when you think about that, you can go back again, Yuri, you are amazing at simplifying. And all of this is, believe it or not, in the HBA. So if you go back to power positioning, right? We talk about the client, perfect client, perfect client, perfect client. And at the end, we're like, okay, now we're going to get to you. Yeah. You are important. It's just, we've got to put the client first, but then who is your superhero character? And really, who do you have to be? Remember, if you're only getting paid for delivering a result, who do you and your business need to be? And all of that is in your worksheets. So you don't have to be like, oh my God, I just listened to an hour-long podcast and I can't remember anything. If you're in the HBA, go back to that very first module. You're going to find that, work through it. And you know what? It's really cool to create a superhero character. We all have them. We don't all lay it out here. We do that at home, right? And I do my calls standing. If I start sitting, I stand where I get to the qualifying and budget. So that's just something I've learned. If I sit, when I get to the qualifying and budget, I get timid. If I'm standing up, I am not timid at all. So experiment. You're going to screw up. It's okay. Everyone's not going to enroll, but go back, use the materials in the HBA portal, develop your personal superhero, put yourself in a power position, and there are going to be people. I had one gal who just joined, looked at a YouTube video, Yuri, of yours, and said on a call, "Oh my gosh, there's all these negative comments. Who cares? Good. That means you're reaching." Right?
For sure. Who cares what other people think, guys?
I know. Who cares?
Exactly.
All right. So I think for the sake of time, well, let's wrap it up, because this has been, hopefully for all of you watching, I know we've got a number of you guys, Bob and John and Dan and Daphne in the group, and I'm just actually seeing your comments now. So thank you for posting in. Daphne is mentioning, my mom always says I'm too poor to buy cheap things. That's so cool. And it's so true, because you end up spending more buying lower quality items, which is very, very true. And I talked about this in a webinar where I bought 4 Lacoste shirts from eBay years ago because I wanted to save some money. And then I washed them once and they turned into baby tees. And I was like, shit, now I got to actually go buy an actual Lacoste shirt. So don't shortcut it. Just get the high quality stuff. It's always worth it. All right. So if you are in HBA, well then, good job. If you're watching this somewhere else and you want our help to really command the prices you deserve as a health expert, or if you're listening to this on the podcast and you've been enjoying all of our episodes. And here's the thing, guys, is you can keep listening to this stuff, you can keep watching this stuff until you turn blue in the face, until I turn blue in the face, but nothing is going to matter until you actually start taking action. So if you're serious about moving your business forward and you're sick and tired of playing the high volume, low price game, or you feel that you're selling yourself at too low of a price and you really want to command what you're truly worth, here's what I want you to do right now is in your browser, type in healthpreneurgroup.com/training. Go through that 70-minute training, get a really good perspective and idea of where we're coming from with our approach. And if you jive with it, we'll give you the option to book a call with one of these fine ladies after the webinar training, okay? If you're serious, again, this is not for everyone. This is not for people who are kind of dabbling and, are going to try something for a week, and if it doesn't work out, they're done. This is for you if you've hit rock bottom. This is for you if you're sick and tired of the status quo. This is for you if you have a big dream that you feel you're moving further away from because of what you're currently doing. If you want to move closer to that big goal, that big dream, it can happen very quickly, guys. Very, very quickly, and it's up to you. We'll give you everything you need, but it's up to you, and it starts right now. Attend the training, healthpreneurgroup.com/training, and let's take it from there. So, Amy, Jackie, Steph, thank you guys so much for bringing your goods to the table. For everyone watching and listening, thank you guys so much for showing up and participating, even virtually here. And we will be back next week with another great Between the Ears episode, if that's what we're going to call it or something. I don't even know. And in the meantime, hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.